Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Icey Cast. I am John McKellar, and I am, of course, joined by my co-host, Icebox Glasgow's managing director, the founder, Jamie McDermid, the man without a
Hello,
face.
the ghost.
How you doing, Jamie?
Mate.
How you doing anyway, man?
No bad, mate, no bad. Still in the gooch of the year. Still in that weird time where I'm fucking going to bed at 4 a.m, getting up at 12 and stuff. It's all weird. It's all weird, mate.
So we're live, mate. We're live in front of the world. Everybody that's in the world is free to join us live right now. Hopefully we'll get a few folks who'll jump in and join the broadcast live and leave some comments for us to read. Looks like we've got one here already, actually. Why is Jamie always hiding? Says Archie Asimov. Jamie, would you like to explain?
It's not my camera that's fucked. It's actually my PC that's a bit gubbed. It will not accept cameras. Speaking only, sadly.
Your computer's paranoid as fuck, basically.
Aye. You know what? I like it. I like that attitude. I like a PC have that attitude.
Nah, that's fine, man.
It's a brick. It's a giant brick that's been used for quite a long time. Back in the old Icebox as well.
Aye.
It does a job, but it does not like my visage. So
It doesn't like your was that visage you said? Aye.
Visage. Aye, just my look, mate. Like it.
Your visage.
Aye.
Yeah, so we're live, Jamie. Tonight we are doing the first episode of a kind of sub-series that we had teased, I'd say back in March, April last year. And it is last year because this is New Year's Day. It's 2024. Happy New Year to you, Jamie, and Happy New Year to anybody watching or listening, whether it be live or on demand. It's 2024. Amazing. It was 2023, and now it's 2024. It's crazy how that happens. We are going to talk about names of games, and tonight we are starting the first of 26 episodes on names of games, and we're starting tonight with the letter A because that's first in the alphabet. I don't think it rules.
I argued numbers to be first, but John fucking poo-pooed it. Don't put numbers at the end.
I did, mate. Yeah, because I just thought let's just do A through Z first, and then the others like miscellaneous.
Power mad, John. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm power mad. If it doesn't suit me, I'm not interested. So yeah, we're doing the letter A. I think tentatively the plan will be to do this throughout 2024.
Yeah.
And the idea will be to do a names of games every other week. So that's 26, which means that it'll take us through the year.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do. We'll do one every 2 weeks in 2024. Watched the Cabin in the Woods last week on the Guided by Voices B1000 Christmas episode. Wasn't it that, was it?
No, it was
Where did they do Guided by Voices last? What was it we were talking about last week?
Shit, I don't know, mate. You're asking me. I'm in my 40s, John. I don't remember much. It happened past a few days ago.
What was last week's episode? Is anybody watching or listening that watched last week? I mean, it was Christmas Day, so like it was the 2-part sound booth chat.
It was sound booth. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a long Christmas holiday for me, and it's been quite hectic. So, yeah. So last week during the sound booth chat, which lasted 2 hours over 2 parts, I hope that everybody enjoyed that. We're definitely going to do some more episodes that are more lengthy and a bit more just us chatting shit. Tonight's episode actually will probably be in that similar vein. But yeah, last week you mentioned I better move that out of the way because that's the notes from the Things Slashers Ruined episode. So I better make sure I've got the notes for the correct episode on my desk here.
Jesus,
you brought up Cabin in the Woods and you recommended that I should watch it, which caused World War III in my household because my girlfriend's been trying to get me to watch it for a couple of years. And I'd be like, no, I was no interested. And then you were just like, Cabin in the Woods, watch it. I'm like, absolutely, mate, I've got it rented. Consider it done. And she was like, what the fuck, man? Like, I've been trying to get you to watch that for ages. And your wee boyfriend, Jamie, says to watch it and you jump. So I watched it last night.
Yeah, it was good.
I thought I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting any of that.
I don't.
It was
I
mental.
think that's the thing about it. Like I think you'd be lying if you said you were expecting any of the shit that happens in it. The second half of the film is vastly different from the first half of the film.
To say the least, there
I
were a couple of bits during the first.
I guarantee you can watch that film like twice. I mean, I've watched it a few times, and you pick different stuff all the time that you miss.
Yeah.
Just stuff that happens in the background. The notice board, with all the stuff there, the betting notice board and all that. I mean, it's crazy the amount of just mythology and all that kind of stuff that they've crammed into that one film. And it's a fun film, you know. It's got a young Thor in it. It's got lots of casts. They must be using the same casting. Well, obviously they're because it's guy that does Buffy.
Chris Hemsworth, the guy that plays Thor now, it's over a 10-year-old film, so we're not going to worry about spoilers here. We're just going to spoil it, right? The way he dies is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Because there's the whole heroic kind of like, I'm going to come back for you and all that stuff. And then he does the promise, and she gives him the kiss in the cheek, and it does the dramatic camera angle when he goes over there. He just fucking cuts it into the big kind of weird
it's
wall.
like the barrier.
See him, don't go all the way down. That is amazing. I loved that death.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it's a dramatic death scene. I liked it as well.
Right, and it's so over the top.
I think a lot of the kills in it are just so over the top, which again is just what I like about it as well. When it kicks off, it's manic.
Yeah, and I love how it plays with the different archetypes of the kind of main characters for slashers. And then because the stoner guy Marty doesn't die, that completely fucks everything up.
It fucks everything up, aye. Yeah, you got to appreciate it as well. What was it? They changed his drugs, but they thought he did, but he actually switched it.
Because whatever strain or whatever it was he was smoking was making him immune.
That's right. To the gas and stuff. That's right.
Aye.
Smoke more weed. Smoke more weed. That's the lesson you'll learn from that.
And then Sigourney Weaver apart like just randomly appears at the end.
Yeah.
When she was talking,
I would advise anybody to watch it. To be honest with you.
Absolutely. When she was talking to the tannoy, Julie was like, "Oh, do you know who that is? Do you know who that is?" And I was like, "Oh, mate, I should know who that is." Like, I was actually in pain trying to figure out who it was. And then when she popped up on screen, I'm like, "Of course it fucking is." You know what I mean?
I mean, Working Girl's one of your favourite films, mate. So.
Oh. So yeah, Cabin in the Woods. I loved the fact that Richard Jenkins was in it as well. I really like him. He was the Da in 6 Feet Under, and he's just brilliant in anything. Yeah. But I loved the bit. I loved it when they were taking the bets and all that on what because at that point you're just watching it going, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
like at that point of the film, there's like zero like context to what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's like two different. It's like two different films.
And repeated watching it is good because you at least know what's happening. Then you start to see all the bits as you should be like seeing it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what's happening right at the start. You know you know all the crazy shit is. So you're like, this is great now because I know what's fucking going on. So no, really enjoyable film. I enjoyed it. It's up there. Up there, my favourites. So.
Yeah, Julie said the same. It's among her favourite movies, and I must admit I was wrong to sort of put it off as long as I did. I think I thought it was going to be more like a found footage kind of horror, you know, like that. Oh my god, in the woods, and that. But it was not what I expected.
No, absolutely not.
It was so much better than I could have even hoped.
You just need to watch Jaws now, and that's it.
No, absolutely not. I've read the book. That's enough.
It's a different thing, though.
Wibby Knee comments, Jamie nearly ruined my holiday because he pointed out it was a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, there was that's true. That's true.
Oh, Archie Asimov. Sorry?
Cabin in the Woods should be a nice kind of relaxing place, you know, away for people.
Absolutely.
But things like Evil Dead and that just fucked it, mate. Just fucked it.
I know. 9 times out of 10, your cabin's perfectly safe. You should be fine. Yeah. Archie Asimov says, Happy New Year, Jamie and John. Happy New Year to you too. I think it's Jim.
Right.
It's your Uncle Jim.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth. no a great actor, is he? I mean, he's a movie star. He's not really an actor, is he? And he says he doesn't fucking blame your computer for refusing to show your face.
I mean, that's fair. He's getting the arguments for you there.
Ah, yeah, no, you're kind of in your latter stage Marlon Brando face at the moment.
Jesus fuck. What, like the thing the island of Dr. Moreau, is that what you're talking about?
I mean, mate, the last time I saw you in person was you were a sight to behold, mate. To be fair, you'd been up for like a day and a half. It
Oh,
was that day we
aye.
had the macaroni cheese, and you were
Aye,
just
that was me in the arse end of a fucking 2-day bender though. That's you can't use that as any kind of focal point of what I look like in real life. Like I was
you're
scoring a
only as
sleep at
good.
a table in a pub, so that's
You're,
telling you everything you need to know.
yeah, you're only as good as your last, mate.
That's true.
Anyway, moving on for Cabin in the Woods. There was an Old Firm game the other day.
Yeah.
And Celtic won 2-1. I know that you're a massive Celtic fan, Jamie.
Yeah.
What did you think of the game? Did you see it?
Only the first half, mate. Like I struggle to watch a Celtic Rangers game all the way through, because I like the paranoia's written at me. You always expect Celtic to lose. No, I'm just like I can always expect to lose. I don't. See if it was to go to penalties, I'd be like, nah, I'm out. But I only got the first half for that one. It was a good half. Good game by all means. I'm happy with the score. So aye, it's all positives, mate. All positives.
Yeah. I watched it, which is unusual for me. I don't really usually watch a lot of football outside of my teams, but
because you don't support that body, you know, John.
I support my legs, and my legs support me. That's what people used to say back in the day, and it was just like that's just a shit pattern, really. But yeah, I watched it, and the first half, Celtic were absolutely some of the best football that I've seen Celtic play in a while. The second half was a bit scrappier, and as soon as Tavernier scored that free kick, and as soon as that like 8 minutes extra time got added on, I was just thinking to myself, Celtic are going to fucking fuck this here. This is going to end up a draw.
Mate, it was 11 minutes. 11 fucking minutes extra time.
It ended up 11 minutes. I know it would have been half that if the score had been reversed, in my view, but that's just my opinion.
Controversial, John.
I don't even know if it's controversial at this point. It's so blatant that it makes Scottish football, quite frankly, an embarrassment. But that's just moving on. Yeah, it is New Year. I'm no biased. Don't care who beats the Rangers, says Archie Asimov. Exactly. So yeah, Jamie, it's 2024 now. It's a new year, which means new plans. What do you want to give the listeners or the viewers a bit of a kind of we peek behind the curtain at what you might be working on for 2024 and beyond?
I mean, it's the usual stuff. We need to we've got a few other pages up and active that I wanted to get going last year because we like stuff should be in its own fucking space. We should have books in a book space, the clays in clay space. No, we have got these pages set up. We're ditching the bars, obviously. Dr. Rat, I'll be there for another 3 weeks. I was about to say by the time this comes out, I'll be there in 2 weeks. This is live. So
this is live, yeah.
It is live. The only reason we're there
this
for
is happening
3 weeks,
right now.
Yeah, is because there's a lot of we need to clear a lot of stuff. So going to a big massive sale, we get a deal. We don't have the storage for that amount of stuff that's down there now. We've just been collecting the fucking stuff. So we're going to have a massive sale, just take a shot at over the course of 3 weeks, and then that'll be us done down there. I wanted this year is focused on the writing and the creating stuff. It's going back to the horror. It's going back to the horror page, Fight or Flight. I've got a couple of ideas for live shows like Cabaret and Burlesque, but horror themed. Some of it kind of related to stuff done in Icey back in the day when we scripted some stuff. We've got
Murderpalooza.
We've got the full sound booth. Script that we've done anew. That's the one that we're actually going to be like running on and try to make as soon as we fucking can get it done. So we've worked on that for next week again. Then after that, we've got another slasher film that is kind of getting scripted as we speak. Want to get some shorts done as well for the other page, and just really fucking hit it hard. Like this is all stuff that I've been putting off for so long now, and I just don't want to put it off anymore, mate. I'm just done. This is kind of I should be doing what I want to do and what I really enjoy doing, and this is us kind of going in that route. And I'm good with the amount of work that's been put in so far. I'm good with like how far we've come in a short period of time. And we keep that up all the way through next year, we'll be fine, mate. We'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, I mean, we now have an in-person meeting once a week.
Yeah,
where we seem to be making more and more progress every time that we do it.
yeah, that's
Plus,
it.
we have like frequent online chats as well, where we're adding more and more and changing things here and there and making it better and better. I think
You kind of need that for
so. Yeah,
scripts, though, because I said, like, even when you were doing the readings of stuff,
yeah,
having something read out to you by somebody else makes you catch stuff that you don't
yeah,
catch reading it, because you get blindness. You're in work, you read through it, and you're like, I don't. These words, like I told you before, that I forgot how the word "why." It didn't look like a word to me anymore. I don't know
yeah,
how, but I wrote it too many times. And I kept reading it. I was like, "Oh, what a fuck! That's not a word. I've just made up a word." But I hadn't. Like, why is a word? But I just got this kind of weird blindness to it.
yeah,
And I was kind of getting that way with the script. I'd done so many rewrites, so many overwrites, and at points I was reading it, and I was like, I can't even tell if I'm rewriting stuff, I can't tell if it's better or worse now. It's just the same shit I'm reading now and again.
yeah,
Which is one of the reasons that I started writing other stuff as well in between, just so that I can go back to it. And I'm always going back to it kind of fresh because I've been thinking about something else, which
yeah,
is like writing two things at the same time is handy for me. The way my fucking brain works, that certainly helps me kind of get everything done. And it means I can flick between stuff. But the in-person chats, all that kind of stuff does work. It helps for somebody else to say, right, even somebody that's saying, right, is this done? Is that done yet? Mate, is that done yet? Mate, is it done yet? And I'm like,
you'll
I'll
get that
fucking
from
do it.
me
I'll
plenty.
do it. And then I do it. So
That's basically my job now.
that is aye. But I mean that's like the associate producer's job as well. So that is kind of one of the things that an ass producer does.
It's like I said before, mate. If you want me to produce the ass, I will do it anywhere, anytime.
I'd say it, and I says no, John. I said right, the court order's still in place. There's that 100 foot thing. So that's how we need to sit at the big table in the pub. The 100 foot long one.
That's true, actually. I had a
That is,
100-foot long table.
that is.
On the subject of sound booth, to move on for that, what's the latest on sound booth in terms of the crew, the cast, and
It's just the same as
interest?
the same as the last podcast. Nothing's been done at all. Nothing gets done at the holidays. Everything just kind of
Yeah.
stops. So I say we'll go back into that as of next week. I'll go over all the folk, some of the folk that they've got, and all the parts that we still need to get, and then we'll start kind of tick boxes and getting roles filled. Even if it's just like potentially contacting people and just see if they're interested in helping. There's a lot of folk to contact essentially. They start pre-planning the Kickstarter as well, like I said, because we need to get up the pre-Kickstarter page, which can be up for 46 weeks. So I'll probably want that up in 4 weeks, because then it'll be another 46 weeks before we start any kind of campaign for it. It's a lot of work coming up. But again, it's just stuff that has to be done. Just class it like a fucking full-time job, and you'll be all right.
Yeah. Have you managed to shortlist, at least in your head to an extent, any of the roles that people have, because there's obviously been some interest in specific roles.
Oh,
you mentioned that last week.
I've got
Do you?
I know a folk for a few of them. Like we've actually got folk that are definitely doing a few of them. So I think we've probably got half the major roles done. The extras there's lots of people that have asked for the extras, so I'm not that worried about them. One thing we need to get in place now is because we've done the rewrites for the action bits now, so we need to get bands in place and get some music involved for them. But I'm into that because we know so many bands, yourself as well. We probably have an idea in our head. I certainly do who I want for certain parts in it.
I know the second musical set piece especially. I think you've already tabbed somebody for that.
Oh, and again, they've already said we'll do it, so that's that.
Right.
That's
okay.
that's done. And that's because weirdly on the bands I only know like one or two bands that actually do kind of cowboy and country western type stuff. It's good. It's just it's not my fucking scene. You know what I mean? I don't know anything about it. But all that's kind of done. I think the band's part will be easy enough. And I think the filming the bits will just make filming the bits more fun. And it's more like filming stuff that we filmed anyway when we done venue stuff, all the different camera angles we used. Even getting somebody's live set. We had the music video shot in the icebox that were done in the same way that we're actually doing these sequences now. So it's
That's a
multi-camera
good point.
sequences. We've got the live band. We've got other stuff happening all about it. It actually it makes it easier in my head to shoot the parts now, even though we're adding more stuff to it. Now it's something that's it's something that feels like, oh, I know what that is. I've done that before, so I can do that and just do it a bit. I could go a bit harder on it, essentially. So
superb. Let's move on to sound booth for now, because obviously we covered it quite in depth last week. And if you're watching this either live or on demand, or listening to it if you're on Patreon, go back and listen to both parts for last week, because I thought it was an excellent chat. I really enjoyed doing it. I think that's one of the best episodes of the podcast we've done in ages.
yeah.
And we've got into quite a lot of depth about both sound booth and where it came from and where we want it to go, and just other stuff, influences and a bunch of other stuff about how we ended up here. So do check out last week's episode on the sound booth Q&A, and we'll definitely do further Q&As on sound booth as progression is made. Let's move on to tonight's topic of discussion, man. It's names of games, the letter A. Now, you've got 3, I've got 3. Before we go into them, let's do some comments, because I posted out about this and got a few comments about it. So let me just quickly grab this. I just need to go back. And so Whoopie Nee said Afterburner. It's never played Afterburner. What is Afterburner, Jamie? Do you know it?
It's I think it's a kind of action flight simulator. I think so. So I think it's an up-screen shooter. I think it is.
Great.
Like it's one I think I have played, but I'm not 100% sure what type of a game it is. You know what? I've got your Google in front of me, mate. I've got the fucking Googles.
Yeah, I googled, and while you do that, I'll go through a few more that Wibini has mentioned. Mine
Oh
and
no,
Barry's favourite.
Afterburner's an actual fucking flight simulator, right? No, I've not played that.
Oh, right, is it? Okay. They used to play Alex Kidd a lot as well. And
I've played Alex Kidd. That's a good game.
there's a couple here that they've mentioned that I'm not going to get into just now, because 2 of them are actually ones that I'm going to be bringing up later.
Right.
So I'm just going to skip over them for now, and then we'll talk about that in a bit. Whoopi Nee has been controversial here as well, and has said Batman Arkham Asylum.
Do you allow that, John? Do you allow that though? Because it's Batman.
Batman Arkham Asylum comes under B. We might well touch on the Batman Arkham series in 2 weeks' time. So
You
stay
should
tuned
stop
for that.
Batman though.
No, I won't. Never. Derek Torque McLean says Atomic RoboKid, Asteroids, and Alien Syndrome.
Alien Syndrome was excellent. I loved Alien Syndrome. Alien Syndrome we got in the arcades as well, and it was fucking great with the big guns. Asteroids, I don't know how I forgot about Asteroids. Asteroids should be like number 1 the A's, to be honest with you. So
yeah, I think I'm a wee bit slightly too young to remember some of these earlier games. Like I know of them, but I haven't played them. Oh, I'll rub it in, all right.
That's not even a real beard you've got. That's just painted on for the podcast, isn't it?
I take it off before bed every night, put it in a wee cup of water to wash it.
Yeah, obviously. Make clean it.
Archie Asimov live on the stream says Alex Kidd as well, and also Aliens Colonial Marines, which that was like a first-person shooter type of Alien game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
similar to the Alien Trilogy games back in the Mega Drive days.
I had that. I think it was a PS1. I had the Alien Trilogy for, which was amazing as well. I think I had the original Aliens on like the Spectrum 128K or something, which was like I couldn't get past the flying the dropship party, which was only level 2, so I could never get any further than that. All you had to do was land the dropship, and it was so difficult. You went through this kind of slipstream, and you just had to control it left, right, keep it in the centre, and I just could never do it. Never do it, mate. And I lose interest with games if I can't get past one level for so long. That's it. Games dead to me. But Aliens is another one. I should definitely have thought of anything beginning with Alien. Yeah. So there's quite a few.
what was I going to say? I had Alien 3 for the Mega Drive.
Yeah.
I
Is that
remember it
the
being
platform, the side platform one?
aye, because I
Aye, I
think it
remember
was
that. That was
also
good.
because there was the first person shooter version of Alien 3 as well,
Yeah,
but I think that was part of the Alien trilogy, if I
yeah,
remember rightly. But I remember playing Alien 3 on the Mega Drive, and that was one of these kind of Contra clone
yeah.
side scrolling kind of platformy shooter things. I enjoyed it, it was fun,
Alien,
but I
that
didn't
was
really
good.
back then I hadn't watched it. Jim's squaring up to you, Jamie. He says, Jamie, landing the dropship was fucking easy.
Nah,
LOL.
he's not got a fucking clue. Jim's dead old now. He's getting a wee bit of cereal, mate. So,
Oh, how funny was it the other day when we were playing, well, last week when we were playing Fallout on stream and Jim was moaning about how there was no action and then he fucked off and we just get into a gunfight pretty much immediately.
yeah, there was a lot of action after that. That was actually.
Uh, yeah, it turned into John Wick 4. So anyway, Jamie, names of games. Your first one you wanted to talk about was Age of Empires. I've never played it, so I'm going to Google it and get an idea of what this game is. But what does Age of Empires mean to you, mate?
Well, Age of Empires was, well, certainly for me, it was one of the first kind of strategy world simulator type games.
Kind of like Civ.
Aye, pretty much. It spans a lot. I'm not even sure where it's up to now. I think it's like 5 or 6 it's up to now. In fact, I'll be able to, there you go, 1, 2, 3, 4. The Age of Empires 4. It's fucking mental. Like, it takes so long, and you just get right through all the kind of history. You can pick historical characters and all that. It's one I don't think ever completed either, because you just kind of get lost in it, and you play it for far too long. But Age of Empires got me interested in, like, oh, your Command and Conquer's not. Age of Empires was probably the first one that I played. They got me interested in all that kind of stuff. But after that, I loved like Civilization, Populous, all that kind of gameplay. And it was all based in that same kind of army strategy, but also kind of like world creating strategy as well. I was the type of guy that played Sims just so that I could destroy the city that I made. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to make the city, then destroy it. You could pick like tidal waves and shit like that. So, that was why that was definitely one of my first ones. And it's Age of Empires. I'm surprised nobody else really mentioned Age of Empires because it's such a famous series of games. I think a lot of games wouldn't be here just now if it wasn't for games like Age of Empires kind of starting the stuff off. I mean, Russ Meyer's Civilization that is up there. Some people will probably say that's a daddy, and they might be right, but I think Age of Empires for me, it was more the military part of it that I enjoyed, which got me more into the other kind of army sim stuff, like I said, Command and Conquer and that, which we'll keep for the seas. So that's why that had to be my first pick.
So what came first? Was it Civ or was it? I think it was actually Civilization came first in 1991. Apparently, the first game came out. But you prefer Age of Empires?
I prefer Age of Empires. Aye. Civilization. I thought Civilization was more. It was more pernickety controls. There seemed to be a lot more in it, but there was a lot more that, like, the military part of it wasn't a huge part of the game. Whereas for Age of Empires, it is. You had to make sure that the military part was up. It's a lot. It's about the fighting off other empires and stuff, which I really enjoyed. Again, some stuff you could play it for so long that you get kind of lost in it. I think Civilization, you would just play that for fucking days. You wouldn't sleep. You'd end up a wreck. You'd end up like me when you see me in the pub that day when I was sleeping and shit. That would be me playing Civilization. So fuck that.
That was me the week that Metal Gear Solid 5 came out. I took like 6 days off work.
Was that not you basically any time that any Metal Gear was oh, I'm so excited to do the letter M.
I think I slept totally about 6 hours that entire 6 days.
Jesus.
I completed it the last night of my holidays before I went back.
Right, okay.
Otherwise, I just would probably have called in sick. because I was just like, I'm fucking finishing this game before I go back to work.
Good
But
for
we're
them,
on A.
mate. Good for them.
We're on the letter A, mate. We're not on the letter M. For my first one, Jamie, as you know, I am a massive baseball fan.
Yep.
Not only that, I am an award-winning baseball podcaster and an award-winning baseball player.
Yeah, fuck me, I know, John, I know.
Just in case anybody out there doesn't realise this.
In case I forgot.
Yeah, I won a 2021 Silver Slugger Award for my team at first base in single A. So yeah, but All-Star Baseball 2004 is one of my favourite games of all time. I love my sports games. I love my baseball games. All-Star Baseball 2004 is the best baseball game ever made in my view. It was so customizable. You could create your own like entire team. And like the franchise mode, what made that so great and so deep was like it kept all your records and stuff.
Right.
So you would have like a top 5 franchise history and like each different stat. And so you could play like 20, 25 seasons and that would be so kind of like emergent and so kind of malleable. And it was so great. And it was one of the first games to have a really deep sort of system of like having minor league players and stuff like that and other aspects of American sports that most people in this country probably wouldn't either understand or care about. But yeah, it was the first like cutting edge PlayStation 2 sports game for me. You know, I feel like all sports games nowadays have become, what would the word be? Would it be homogenized?
I don't know.
They're all just sort of like sports games these days, like FIFA. I've not played a FIFA in about 15 years that I felt was actually interesting and new. You know, it's always the same game every year. Same with the hockey games, same with the baseball games these days as well. Particularly like nowadays, like in the last kind of decade or so, because of the microtransaction aspect, you've got your ultimate team or you've got your this or that, where you buy players and you have to go online and all that. And it's real life money, and that's just you're pumping money into that. It's like a slot machine.
Yeah.
And it's garbage. It's fucking garbage. I prefer a single player or like a multiplayer mode that you can really sink your teeth into and it lasts a long time. That's why I prefer Football Manager to FIFA, because Football Manager feels like you're in your own wee world and you've got a lot more kind of control over it. But All-Star Baseball 2004, I just have great memories in the summer of 2003 playing that all day and all night into the wee hours. And then I would watch my live baseball game and then I would go to bed for a few hours and then rinse and repeat. Just great times. It's my all-time favourite. Probably my all-time favourite sports game.
Right.
I would say All-Star Baseball 2004.
The only other sports game I can think of that starts with an A is Actua Soccer. So
Actua Soccer was class, man.
No, Actua
Soccer. Romario.
Yeah, aye.
That's
pretty. That's like that's the kind of games that I like, the sports games. So even it starts getting the newer ones, it's too fucking complicated. I don't know.
I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
See, another perfect example would be rally games, right? Colin McRae Rally in the PlayStation 1 was so fun to play. So fun to play.
Yeah, actually it was.
And then you play them nowadays and it's fucking your controllers like vibrating like the steering wheel and all that, and you can't fucking, and it's realistic, but it's no fun.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to drive. I want to pretend to drive.
Yeah.
I want to be Colin McRae. So yeah, that was my first pick anyway. Wibby Nee says, when I hear my young peeps paying to unlock players on FIFA, I just can't get enthused by that shit. Same with PGA paying to open courses. Agreed. DLC in general's another concept for another time, to be honest. That's just so, it's egregious, really, isn't it? I knew a guy who coded all the extraneous building on Football Manager for nothing for years, and EA shut that down too. It's fucking bollocks, man. Jamie, next up, you wanted to talk about Alan Wake, which is a game that I own on PS5, I think.
Right. Is it a new Alan Wake you own?
No, I've got the first one. I think it might be a PS4 game, but you can play it on PS5. I got it through
okay. I guess no, actually, remastered one.
Did they remaster it? Yeah, it must be a remaster then. I've not played it. I do own it. Sell me on it. Why should I play Alan Wake?
Right, I really liked Alan Wake because it's like playing a TV program, like a thriller. It's set in episodes. It is very episodic. It's I wouldn't say the first one is a horror. Second one's meant to be a horror. I've not played the second one at all. What I remember for the first one, it was more a kind of dark thriller type game.
Yeah.
Almost like a kind of dark Max Payne type thing. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the vibe to it. I enjoyed how it was set. I enjoyed how it was really kind of dark. You like it because it looks like he's John Wick, John Wick 4, possibly. And so he's got the John Wick look about him. I know you like John Wick.
That's a running gag that should stay in 2023, I think. Let's move on for John Wick 4.
Are you sure, mate? I don't know if you can. Can you move on for John Wick 4? It's like if you like dark thrillers and dark your kind of horror thrillers. Again, it's like in the genres it classes it as survival horror. It's a third person thriller shooter. That's what it is. It's an adventure game as well. It moves very well through the game. I think the pace is broken up because it is broken up into chapters. If you like that type of game, you'll fucking love Alan Wake. Apparently, the second one's it's meant to be absolutely fantastic. It's meant to up the kind of thing for it. It's almost like playing a kind of action crime show. So
graphically, the new game graphically looks absolutely incredible because I've seen trailers and stuff. And the graphics wise, at least, it just looks insane.
Yeah, I watched a bit of a broken down playthrough. I didn't want because I do want to play it at some point, so I didn't want to spoil the full game. So I watched just a bit of the start of it. And it's fucking amazing. It's even more done like a cinematic experience. It's almost like you're playing in like the characters in a movie or a teleprogram. It's great. It really is. It's something that I think everybody should have a wee shot and experience it. Again, I do like the games too, but there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of games I would say I like Alan Wake out there. Definitely not.
So there's a comment here that says it reminded them a bit of Dead by Dawn. Is it Dead by Dawn or Dead by Daylight?
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Dawn.
Dead by. Oh shit! What ones? Why was it? No, because Dead by Dawn.
Until Dawn. I think it might be Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
I think maybe this person means Until Dawn.
I don't know because I think there's a Dead by Dawn game as well. No, Dead by Dawn's Dead by Daylight is what I'm thinking of.
That's that. That's that one. That's the multiplayer slasher.
Yeah.
Right. I think maybe they mean Until Dawn. I've never played Until Dawn. I think you have though.
I like Until Dawn.
Would you say that's kind of in the vein of Alan Wake?
I'd say it's probably more in the vein of how Alan Wake 2 is meant to be set up because that's more a horror. Whereas Dead by Dawn's it's almost as if you're partly playing in a slasher film, which again I really like. It was directed by a horror director as well, which I think's fucking amazing.
Cool.
You know, if you're going to do a game like that, get somebody that does the films, which is what he did. His posters are actually in the game in the house. It's posters for all his shit films that he did in the past.
Aye.
Up in the cinema.
That's pretty good, actually.
Aye, it's really good. That's another game that I think people should play. There was a series of the games out recently. I've not played any of the other ones. I think The Quarry was one. Same kind of
Quarry was good.
Same kind of series of horrors. But again, these are all games.
I enjoyed The Quarry a lot. I got The Quarry off my girlfriend for Christmas last year.
Yeah.
2022. And it's really fun to play. It's like a movie. It's like making your own kind of slasher movie.
You're actually playing the horror film. They're well scripted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, you almost feel like you're directing your own film.
Oh, aye.
Which should be handy training for what we're
about this year.
Next up, we're going to stay with horror. For my next one, it's Alien Isolation, which I know that one or two people have already mentioned in comments ahead of tonight's show. Alien Isolation originally came out in the PlayStation 3, I think in 2014. It was released remastered for the PS4 as well. I played it on PS4 in like 2015. Mate, it's such a good game. It's fucking terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. It's like a survival horror, but you're on the ship and all that, right? and you're kind of going about, you're doing your thing, you've got your task, and your task varies obviously as the game goes along, its story progresses. But in the background is always the xenomorph, and you don't know at what point she might appear. And if you make too much noise, you might draw her to you towards your location. If you like, it's got like these options on PS4 version, right? Where if you've got like a microphone on, or if you've got the PlayStation camera on, it can detect your motion and it can detect any sound that you make. So if you're playing it with the microphone on, right, and you cough and it's loud enough, the alien might hear that and then it will just burst out your vent and fuck you up. And you can't kill it. You like,
it's just
if it gets a hold of you, you're dead.
Yeah.
You have to avoid it. And it's super, super well done. It's so faithful to the original movie, which I think is one of the things that really drew me into it, because Aliens is in my top 2 movies of all time. It's so well done. Like when you're originally on the ship, like your ship, it is basically to the minute detail. It is so faithful to what the Nostromo was in the first film. Like all the kind of, the wee symbols on the buttons and all that. It's got everything down to the last detail. Yeah, there's a comment here saying, well, first off, I needed an alien isolation support pillow. The lockers, the corridors where you had to keep around without attracting its attention. Absolutely, it is terrifying. And then, no, even that, but there's the androids who are really frightening as well. They're these lifeless, like white-faced androids, and they're just brutal. They're so hard to kill, and if they get a hold of you, it's one of the scariest experiences that I've ever had playing a video game. But
I'd like to try it. I'd like to try it myself.
So satisfying.
I hear is that the one where there's a VR version of it too? Is there a VR version of Alien Isolation?
I think there might be. Yeah, I've never played any PlayStation VR, so I don't know for sure.
That would be absolutely terrifying, I'd imagine as well. So.
Aye. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm going to wait till you're playing it one day and I'm going to kick open your door and start fucking leathering you and get the real experience, John.
You would as well. Jamie,
yes.
you wanted to close out with Another World. I've never played that either. I've never played any of these 3.
It's like Another World. I mean, actually, like I'm going back as far. I think it was a Super Nintendo. It was definitely a Nintendo. And I'm going back to like the when it was out right at the start. This is a weird one for me because when I was reading about this today, there's some bits of this that I've got mixed up with another game called Flashback.
Right.
Which is actually, see, when I was checking online, it's actually a lot of people have made the exact same. It's like it's how it's done. It's how the art's done. It's almost like with the clunkiness of the game and that as well. They've had to, there's a full article online about how the 2 games are unrelated because a lot of people thought Flashback was a sequel to it, and it's not.
Oh, right.
One was released in 1991.
Is that a Mandela effect thing?
Aye. So Another World was released in 1991. Flashback came out in 1992. And a lot of people thought it was the first part and the second part, to the point where folk, like in their memories, it was getting mixed up. And it was like they were kind of chopping and changing bits of the game. Because there's bits of like the gameplay in that is different. Like, I think I have played both the games now. I've managed to separate it in my brain. Another World, as much as I love it, as much as I love the setting of it, like just the way it's drawn, it's almost like you're playing a kind of beautiful kind of anime type stuff. It's like it's like the classic computer game look for that kind of sci-fi shoot 'em up, but it's clunky as fuck. I remember it being really difficult to play. I remember it feeling almost unresponsive at points, just because it's really the controls are quite clunky. It's another one I don't actually remember when I was younger. If I completed it, I loved it, but I think I might get fed up with the controls. It's re-released. It's re-released on PS4, PS5, Xbox One as well. So I was thinking about getting re-released because apparently they've changed. Obviously, the controls not right for the Super NES were clunky stuff, but now they've redone them and made it easier to play. So I'm thinking about getting it again to kind of relive it. I just think it's like I think the graphics for it are fucking wonderful. I think they're really good. It looks like strange kind of paintings to me. that each screen you go and looks like paintings. You know, even when you go back to stuff like the Turtles and that, and like when you go to the sides, see the side scrolling game, at like every separate fucking screen was like it almost looked like a different painting, like a different piece of artwork, and you're just playing.
You talk about the one for the NES or the arcade one?
I think it's the one for the NES. I'm thinking of. Fuck, I don't know. It might actually be the arcade one, but it's almost got that kind of feel to it, where it's like you're playing through a kind of artwork of how games should look. Like
Is it the one where you have to? Is it the one where you have to swim through like electrified seaweed?
I think is that no the arcade one?
No, that was the NES game. My cousin Casey and I used to play it often.
I'm thinking like I had the NES for a very limited time. I go to it. When I go to it, I'd go to have somebody. I'd got a clutch of games in it as well. This was years and years ago. And it didn't, like, the actual thing was fucked. Basically, the game system didn't last that long at all. And it went kaput. It just wasn't accepting any games. And then I just ended up getting rid of the games and that. But I had Another World. I had the Turtles. I had a couple other kind of weird games. So I'm sure it was something like Alex Kidd. I think it was like Chuck Rock or something I had for it. There was a couple of weird games like that. Or your kind of side-scrolling kind of action type stuff. Or puzzle games. So I definitely say either Another World or, so I don't put it in F, I could also say Flashback, because I thought it was the same game for a bit. So yeah.
That's fair. I'll allow that because
yeah. And I'm not going to use it in F. So
there's a lot. I think there's probably a lot. There's going to be a lot to choose for when it comes to choosing F. That's going to be a good one actually.
Right.
I'm going to close it out with one more from the old Mega Drive days. Altered Beast.
See, I was going to pick Altered Beast if you didn't.
Altered Beast is an absolute classic.
Yep.
It's an absolute classic, man. It's like a kind of scrolling beat 'em up in the vein of like Streets of Rage, but you play as like. Is it Zeus that you work for?
I don't remember.
And then you have to find.
Yeah.
You have to find Zeus's like daughter or some shit.
Yeah.
And you play as like a human, and you're doing it, but then you can use the power up, and then he goes, oh! And you turn into like a wolf or like a fucking monster or some kind of like different thing.
It's a kind of it's almost like a steroid juice, but it's speeded up.
Basically, it's like Hulk Hogan going.
Yeah.
It was so good. I remember I had it bundled up on one of the cartridges that you got like with multiple games, and it had Shinobi 2.
Was that for the Mega Drive?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Shinobi and
it had that. Did it not have Tube for some shit on it? Some kind of weird
Columns
Tetris game. Columns,
I think it was. Or Columns 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Such good shit, man.
That was one that was a good arcade. You go to, they had that when they used to have the arcades doing the bars. That was why the big kind of games they had in there as well was Altered Beast.
Yeah,
they had Altered Beast, had Streets of Rage, all that kind of stuff, and it was a classic. It was a classic coin eater. Essentially, I remember it being a lot harder in the arcade than it was when you go for the game system. It was still like Shinobi was the same. Fucking loved Shinobi 2. Absolute fantastic games. But you play them in the arcade, it was a different beast. It was just made to swallow as much.
I see what you did there.
Different beast. I didn't see what I did there, mate. I'm glad you caught that. But I mean, they were total money eaters, coin eaters. And then when you get home and you played it in the machine, you're like, this feels a lot easier. That's weird, that, isn't it?
Got a comment here. Altered Beast caused many fights around picking up the orbs that transformed you. When in 2-player, the punch-ups over hawking power-ups. I remember that happening with my brother and I, actually. We were playing 2-player and he used to go fucking mental at me because I would always steal the power-ups and that. Well, so I definitely relate to that.
It fucking enraged me because it's like stealing the power-ups in Golden Axe. Like kicking the wee guys. Like, see what every kind of else
Golden
does.
Axe
I get so angry when I'm to like, that's mad dwarf. I get to kick that dwarf.
Golden Axe is another absolute classic, man. There were some right amazing games, and like you say, like the arcadey kind of scroll and beat 'em up types.
Yeah.
Such good games on the Mega Drive, man. I wish I still had one. I need to get hold of one. But yeah, Altered Beast, that was kind of the last one, really. Let's see if we've got any other comments here. I forgot to say about the game Arcade. It had kept me sane during being ill. Seriously recommend it. Yeah, it was definitely, it was Until Dawn that Alan Wake reminded them of. So I've never played it, but yeah.
Wait,
I think that's basically it, mate.
Arcade what?
I think it's just a game called Arcade.
Oh, just called Arcade.
Good luck googling that arcade game.
I typed in arcade game. I've just been spat at loads of actual arcade games. Oh, no, ridiculous. I'm not going to do that.
Google's just like, are you fucking taking the piss?
You
although
fucking
I did just get a glimpse of a classic Paperboy.
Right.
Paperboy was fucking amazing, man. Maybe we'll touch on that when it comes time for P.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's call it a night right there, man. Give it a go. Seems mundane, but is actually a really well put together game once you get the idea. Can't find it anywhere. What platform is it on?
Yeah.
And I'll see if we can find it. While we wait for that response, let's do a wee quick plug of our links. Find us on Facebook at Icebox Glasgow and at Icey Cast Pod. Find us on X, Instagram, and Twitch at Icebox Glasgow. If you want to support us with some actual cash money, you can join our Patreon and become a member at patreon.com/iceboxglasgow. We are going to need money this year. It's a simple fact that we are going to need a whole bunch of money to make the movie. So the more Patreon pledges we get, the better.
Yeah, we'll be putting videos in Porn Hamster, John.
Needs must, mate. Needs must. It's fine. You can do what you want with them. You commissioned them. They're your property.
That's fair.
What have we got coming up? We've got another dive into John's record collection coming up. It's not that one. Next week, next Monday, the 8th of January, we're doing The Shape of Punk to Come by Refused. I hope you've got it ready to go on your turntable or on your digital platform, whatever you're using. Classic album. So we're going to talk about that next Monday. Join us for that. On the 15th, we're going to do the letter B. So we do the second episode in the Names of Games. We're going to do B. Batman Arkham will be there. Spoiler alert. It's one of my favourite series of games. So it'll definitely be there. And then the following week, we're going to do something a bit different and a bit more intimate, Jamie. We are going to take a look back the way. We're going to go into the past, 12 years into the past, to 2011, September 20th of 2011, the day that we first encountered each other, and we're going to tell the entire story of our friendship and how that ties into NHC and then later the Icebox. And I think it's going to be an interesting look at how this whole thing came together and how we got to where we are today. It's going to be cathartic in It'll be cathartic in places. It'll be informative, and I think hopefully it'll be entertaining. So we're going to tell the story of the ballad of Jamie and John.
I'm just going to lie. I don't remember any. I'm going to lie.
That'll come out on the 22nd of January. On the 29th of January, to round out the first month of 2024, we'll do C, the letter C, on Names of Games. So you'll get a chance to talk for an hour and a half about Command & Conquer, which I'm sure you're looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be all 3 picks for me. This is going to be Command & Conquer.
Maybe we should get together with the N64 and play some Command & Conquer while we record that episode.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, that could happen. Yeah, we could make it happen, John. We're adults.
We can do whatever the fuck we want. It's so yeah, we will call it a night there, and we'll see everybody next week.
Right. See you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.